You ever have that one thing on the bike that just owns you? For some people, it's clutch control. For others, it's tight turns. But for me, for years, it was U turns. Every time I saw that bright yellow line in a parking lot, or I had to flip the bike around on a narrow road, my heart would start racing. I'd tense up, stare at the curb, and somehow, every single time, end up putting a foot down. Hey everyone, Matthew here from Autozium. And today, I want to show you the one drill that completely erased my fear of U-turns and honestly changed the way I ride. Because once you master this, everything from parking lot turns to tight corners on mountain roads just feels easier. Let's start with the hard truth. It's not about balance. Most riders think tight turns are all about staying upright. You see someone doing a clean U-turn, and your first thought is, man, that guy's got great balance. But here's the truth. Balance is the result, not the skill. What actually keeps that bike from tipping isn't your sense of balance, it's your control. Control of your clutch, your throttle, and your eyes. Those three are the real trinity of smooth, slow speed riding. When a beginner tries to do a U-turn, they're usually stiff. Their eyes are glued to the curb, their arms are locked, and their brain is screaming, "Don't drop it!" That fear feeds tension, and tension kills movement. The bike starts to wobble, they overcorrect, and boom! Foot down, confidence gone. But once you understand that your bike wants to stay upright, everything changes. Seriously. That machine beneath you was engineered to hold itself up once it's moving, even at walking pace. The more you fight it, the worse it gets. But the second you let it roll, with a little bit of clutch, steady throttle, and eyes through the turn, it starts doing the work for you. Think of it like dancing. You're not forcing your partner to move, you're leading with rhythm. Every time you ride scared and stiff, you're stepping on your partner's feet. But once you trust the movement, trust the design, that's when the bike starts gliding instead of wobbling. And that's when you finally realize tight turns aren't about balance. They're about trust, control, and rhythm. To the drill, lazy circles and smooth inputs. Now let's get to the fun part. The drill that rewired my brain. You don't need a fancy training ground or police cones. Just find an empty parking lot, throw down 2 bottles or markers about a lane width apart, and start with slow, lazy circles. Your only job? Keep the bike moving at a walking pace. Stay relaxed. Roll on just enough throttle to keep it alive, and drag that rear brake slightly. That drag adds stability. It settles the bike, gives it weight, and keeps it from lurching. Meanwhile, your left hand is working the clutch in the friction zone. That's your fine-tuned control. It's where magic happens. At first, it feels awkward, like trying to pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. But give it 5 minutes, then 10. Before long, you'll start feeling the rhythm between your clutch, throttle, and brake. That's when you'll start tightening your circles. Not forcing them, just gently shrinking the radius as your comfort grows. And here's the key. Your eyes lead everything. Don't look down. Don't glance at your front wheel. Wherever your eyes go, your body and the bike will follow. You want to make a perfect U-turn? Look where you want to exit. Literally turn your head until your chin points that way. The moment this clicks, it's like unlocking a cheat code. You stop wrestling with the bike and start flowing with it. That little triangle of control, clutch, throttle, brake, becomes your safety net. You'll feel in command, not cautious. The whole thing turns from a don't drop it drill into a watch this moment. 3. The click. When it all comes together. When I first practiced this, I honestly thought I'd drop the bike every few minutes. I was tense, overthinking, trying to make each circle perfect. But then, out of nowhere, something clicked. I stopped fighting the bike. I stopped thinking about what if. Instead, I started feeling what the bike was telling me. That's when you find that rhythm, the one between power, brake, and body weight. It's subtle, but once you feel it, you never forget it. The clutch becomes this fine-tuned conversation. The throttle isn't scary anymore. It's a dial that keeps your balance. And your rear brake? That's your anchor. It gives you the freedom to go slow without losing control. The crazy thing is, mastering this one drill doesn't just make U turns easier, it makes everything easier. Lane changes become smoother. Tight traffic feels less stressful. Even twisty mountain switchbacks start to flow better. Because it's all the same muscle memory, the same sense of controlled balance. It's like learning to write. Once you know how to form the letters, the sentences just happen. You're not thinking about every stroke, you're just expressing flow. That's what this drill does. It teaches you to flow with your bike instead of reacting to it. And the confidence that comes with it, unreal. Suddenly, that parking lot that used to intimidate you becomes your playground. The fear turns into focus, and that's the exact moment when you stop being a rider who tries U turns and start being a rider who owns them. 4. The mental game, letting go of fear. Let's talk about the hardest part, the mental game, because 90% of bad U turns don't come from bad technique, they come from fear. Fear of dropping the bike, fear of looking stupid, fear of failing. But here's what most riders don't realize: your body listens to your brain. If your brain says don't fall, your body tenses up to prevent it. Tight shoulders, stiff arms, rigid posture, all of it kills flow. And on a motorcycle, tension equals instability. So before you even start your U turn, do one thing: exhale. Let the air out. Drop your shoulders. Remind yourself that this is practice, not performance. Then look exactly where you want to go. Not at the ground, not at the curb, not at the obstacle, just the path. The moment you commit, really commit, everything changes. Half committed riders dab feet and drop bikes. Fully committed riders glide through like it's nothing. It's not because they're more skilled, it's because they trust themselves. Think of it like walking across a narrow beam. If you stare at your feet, you wobble. But if you look ahead, your body naturally balances. Same deal on a bike. Focus forward, stay loose, and let physics do its job. When you let go of fear and ride with intent, your confidence skyrockets. Every successful turn reinforces your control. And before long, what used to terrify you becomes your favorite challenge. That's not just progress, that's transformation. The clutch throttle connection, your silent partnership. Here's where most riders finally unlock the magic, when they understand that the clutch and throttle aren't two separate controls, they're a team. The clutch sets the tone, the throttle gives it life. The friction zone is where those two meet and shake hands. It's that invisible sweet spot where your bike stops being a lump of metal and starts feeling alive, predictable, smooth, and obedient. Think of it like this: the throttle doesn't make you go, it asks. The clutch decides how you go. Too much throttle with too little clutch and the bike jumps. Too little throttle with too much clutch and it stumbles. But find that balance, and suddenly you're not fighting jerks or stalls. You're gliding. If you're practicing U turns, this partnership is everything. Keep steady, low throttle, like you're holding a hummingbird without crushing it. Then feather the clutch to adjust your speed. You're not yanking it in and out, you're painting with it. The smoother your movements, the more stable the bike feels underneath you. And here's the kicker: your right foot on the rear brake completes the triangle. That tiny bit of drag helps load the suspension just enough to keep things composed. It's subtle, but it transforms how your bike behaves. Once you sync those three, clutch, throttle, and brake, you start to feel the motorcycle like a living thing, responding to every whisper of input. You stop thinking in on-off movements and start riding like it's an instrument, something you play with rhythm, touch, and feel. That's when control stops being mechanical and becomes instinctive. 6. Repetition, the secret ingredient nobody talks about. Here's the truth that every rider needs to hear: you don't get better at U-turns by watching videos or reading advice. You get better by doing them. Again, and again, and again. Repetition is the unsung hero of motorcycle mastery. Every single time you run that drill, your body learns something new your brain doesn't even register. The first few sessions might feel clunky, frustrating, or pointless, but those are the ones that count the most. That's your brain rewiring itself to coordinate your inputs. That's how real skill forms, through muscle memory, not mental effort. you'll start noticing subtle progress. One day, you'll realize your circles got tighter without even trying. Another day, you'll catch yourself gliding through a U turn while talking to yourself about dinner plans. And it'll hit you. Wait, did I just do that? That's not luck. That's the payoff of repetition. It's easy to chase excitement, the fast roads, the twisties, the group rides. But mastery? Mastery lives in the quiet repetition of boring drills. It's born in the parking lot, under the sun, with your clutch hand aching and your throttle fingers sweating. Do it 10 minutes a week, 15 tops. Make it part of your ritual, just like checking tire pressure or cleaning your chain. Because one day, when you pull off a flawless U turn in front of a crowd or glide through a hairpin on a mountain road, you'll know this didn't happen by accident. It happened because you showed up over and over. The confidence loop. When fear turns into flow, something incredible happens once repetition sets in. Fear fades. Not because the danger disappears, but because you know what to do with it. Confidence isn't about ego, it's about familiarity. Once your brain and body understand the dance of clutch, throttle, and balance, your mind finally quiets down. Remember how tense you used to be in slow turns? Shoulders up, arms stiff, eyes darting between the mirrors and the pavement? That was your mind trying to control everything at once. But through practice, your brain learns that it doesn't need to micromanage. The body knows the routine. That's when confidence loops in, and confidence changes everything. Suddenly, slow speed riding feels relaxing. Tight spaces stop being nerve wracking puzzles and start feeling like little tests you're eager to ace. You move the bike like an extension of yourself. The coolest part, this confidence bleeds into every other part of riding. You'll notice it in the way you merge, the way you lean into corners, even the way you handle unexpected moments, gravel patches, traffic stops, awkward parking lots. Your composure remains steady. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move anyway, backed by skill. It's the knowledge that you've built enough foundation to trust yourself and your machine. That's when riding stops being a juggling act and starts becoming a flow state. The bike disappears beneath you, and all that's left is the rhythm of motion, the hum of the engine, and that quiet smile inside your helmet that says, I've got this. So if you're still fighting the bike, still dreading every slow speed turn, grab your gear, find an empty lot, and give this drill a shot. 15 minutes a week, that's it. Trust me, your future self will thank you when you pull a flawless U turn on a narrow road with a friend watching, and they go, wait, how the hell did you just do that? That's the moment you know you've got it. Thanks for watching. I'm Matthew from Autozium. If this video helped you out, drop a comment below and tell me what your biggest riding fear is right now. And if you want more no BS riding tips that actually make you better, not just louder, make sure to hit subscribe. Ride safe, ride smart, and I'll see you in the next one.